Welcome to the Discount Property Investor Podcast, where we show you how to buy real estate at a discount so you can create wealth over time and income today. Our mission is to share what we have learned from the experience of others and help you make more money investing like a pro. We want to teach you how to create wealth by investing in real estate, the Discount Property Investor way. Thanks for tuning in.
All right, we're good to go.
All right, so you ready to go? So what do you want? How do you want you introduce? I mean, how do you do that? You don't use the opener?
Yeah, here, I'll do the opener, and then if you want to introduce Kathy. Kathy, my name is David. How are you?
Hey, David. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you. And we're just going to go with it.
Let's go.
Okay, cool. Welcome back to the Discount Property Investor Podcast. This is your host, David Dodge, joined by co-host Ray Bartle.
Well, hello.
Hey,
how
Ray.
are you today?
How are you?
Today? Good.
Doing well myself here. Doing well. We are joined today by a special guest, Kathy Kennebrook. Did I say that right, Kathy?
No, it's Kennebrook.
Kennebrook.
Yeah.
Kathy?
Kennebrook, correct.
Kathy Kennebrook. Ray, you want to introduce Kathy?
I met Kathy at a RIA in Kansas City a few months ago, and I was really intrigued with the amount of marketing knowledge she had. So I asked if she'd do a podcast for us, and she was gracious enough to do that. Kathy's she's out of Florida, but she does national speaking and goes all over the country. She coined herself as the marketing magic lady. Isn't that right, Kathy?
Yes, sir, it is.
Got that right. And she's been in the business a long time. So I guess what I'm going to start out with first, Kathy, is I just really kind of, how long have you been involved in the real estate business, and how did you get involved? I'm always curious on how that happened.
Well, I've been involved in the real estate investing now for almost 20 years.
Oh boy,
Great.
Yeah, I had actually spent about 20 years in the financial sector before getting into real estate. And I was actually up late one night watching one of those late night infomercials.
Oh boy,
We all know so well.
I think we all have watched those along our career a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
And one of my customers actually happened to be the person who ran our local real estate club in Tampa, Florida. And we started going to some of the real estate club meetings, and then we started going to some seminars and things like that. And that's kind of how we got involved in real estate investing. It's been real exciting.
Great. Yeah. I mean, so I know when I seen your presentation, I mean, you really went into marketing. Is there a reason why you just ended up in the marketing area of real estate? Is there a reason or a calling that made that happen?
Absolutely. The marketing, as we found early on, is the cornerstone of your business. If you don't have leads coming at you, if you don't have motivated sellers contacting you, then there are no deals. So we very quickly realized that if we could get the sellers contacting us first, we were more likely to make better deals, and that's exactly what happened. And that's kind of why we chose direct mail marketing as our primary niche, because we're reaching a sector of the market that nobody else knows and doesn't exist for anybody else.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because marketing is really how do you get that phone ringing, isn't it?
Exactly.
I mean,
if you don't let people know that you buy and sell real estate, you're not going to.
That's so true. That's so true.
That's true.
We try to teach that to all of our students as well. You got to get your name out there, and if nobody
Exactly.
knows that you're in the market to buy houses, you're not going to get people contacting you to sell you houses.
In fact, that's one of the first things I tell people that we take on as a coach, if we coach them, is, hey, tell everybody you're in the real estate business.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Right.
some people say, well, I'm really a tech guy. Well, hey, I was a tech guy too, but everybody, now thinks I'm a real estate guy, which that's what I do full time. But I find that a lot of people don't even realize that you buy houses. So I think telling each person that, and I think another thing, the marketing, like you said, is really important, because there's nothing worse than the phone's not ringing, and getting your direct marketing campaigns together.
Exactly.
And a lot of people, when they go to seminars, think they're going to put no money into anything and the phone's going to ring. Well, that's not true, isn't it?
Doesn't work that way.
I mean, before we even take somebody on, we have to say, hey, what's your marketing budget? How much money can you spend a month? Is it $100, $1,000, a couple $100?
Right.
And I guess the one thing I found about marketing is, and I'm sure you agree with me, it's the target. I mean, how does that? Instead of a shotgun marketing, kind of like target marketing, I think. What do you think of that, Kathy? That's something that you teach on your end too?
I do. There are two specific ways to find motivated sellers. One is, like you said, a targeted approach. The other is a shotgun approach.
Oh.
Shotgun approach is where we put our signage out there, we run some ads, we hand out business cards, and we hope that someone in that large sector has a home that they need or want to sell. With the targeted marketing, which is what I primarily focus on, you are reaching specific types of sellers in specific niches, and that in that way you are reaching a much more highly motivated seller and a much more highly motivated target, and you're going to end up doing more deals. Now, of course, we need to integrate both of those into our marketing plan in order to reach the highest number of folks in our market area.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
How many, as a new investor or somebody, that's been in a business a while, how many deals you think you should be doing?
Well, honestly, whatever's comfortable for you, I'm thinking in the beginning. One of the things that I did when I first got started in real estate, we had spent the first year that we got involved, we did no deals. But we spent $13,000 on books, tapes, and programs.
Oh my gosh.
And that was a real motivator.
I bet.
And I told my husband, I said, I want to do one darn deal because I want my money back.
There you go.
And we did that deal. And then I stood up in a real estate investment club, and I said, I'm going to do 10 deals this year.
Oh.
And by, saying that in front of 100 people that were in that room, it kind of made me want to get it done, because if I didn't, I'd only embarrass myself, kind of thing.
That's
and
right.
we ended up doing, and so it held me accountable,
Mm-hmm.
and people would ask, have you done another deal? Have you done another deal? And it held me accountable.
Yeah.
We ended up doing 15 deals that first year.
God,
Hey, that's great.
That second year, the year we got motivated and got started.
Yeah.
So really, whatever works for you, and one of the things that I can say to your folks is, the more ways you get educated on exit strategies, the more deals you're going to do, because then you're going to be able to analyze whatever deal comes to the table for you. Whether you want to wholesale that deal, whether you want to fix it and flip it, or whether you want to do a lease option with that, or owner financing, or sell it on work for equity. There are so many great exit strategies out there, and the more you educate yourself on those, the better deals you're going to do, and the more of them.
So on your marketing, is there a particular media that you prefer? Like direct marketing, or
For us, it's about 90% direct mail marketing,
Okay.
and there's so many reasons for that. One is because we can really target market. We can reach really specific niches of folks, and when we use those lists, what we do is we customize those lists to hone in even more, specific criteria to hone in even more to reach really those sectors. And so we end up doing a lot more deals. Number one, we reach much more highly motivated sellers, and we're reaching a market that doesn't exist for my fellow investors. So there's no competition for those deals either.
So how do you find which niche to go after if you're just getting started in the business?
Well, the first thing, I actually have 12 different specific targeted types of sellers that we go after, that we actually market to. For example, out-of-state owners, quitclaim deeds, estates, expired listings, multifamily owners, zip code mailers. We work with the military, attorneys. There are different types of sellers that we deal with. And one of the things that I tell my students is to check your demographics. See what kind of demographic you live in. So, for example, I live in Florida, so I'm in the geriatric capital of the world. So we have a lot of estate, we have a lot of probate, and we have a lot of folks who own vacation homes here who decide at some point they don't want to own a vacation home here anymore. So I've looked very carefully at what my demographic is, and those are the sellers that we target. And that's what I want your customers, your students to do in each area. Check what your demographic is and figure out which direct mail marketing campaigns will work the best for you in your area.
Okay. So if I was a new investor and I just started, I know you spoke about 12 different areas to concentrate on. Is there a particular one or two that would make the most sense for you as a new investor?
That's a great question.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, vacant properties, because those are free leads. You're driving by them every single day. So vacant properties go to the top of the list.
Oh, wow.
Generally speaking, expired listings. Expired listings are another really good one. Get with an attorney, with a realtor, and get that realtor to start bringing you those expired listings. There are some really, really great deals there to be made. We also are working like out-of-state owners. That works in almost every area. Out-of-state owner is somebody who owns a home in the city or county that you live in, but they don't live there full-time. They bought it as a vacation property. They inherited it, and they don't know what to do with it. And I'll tell you, Ray, right now is a really, really good time to really start honing in on your direct mail marketing, because tax bills are going out. And now you got a motivated seller with a house that they don't want, and they just got another tax bill to pay. Let me tell you how motivated that makes them. For example, tax bills in Florida come out November 1st. We beef up our marketing from October to February. We do our highest number of deals during that particular time because of those tax bills going out.
That's interesting. Yeah, I can see that, because a lot of investors don't escrow their taxes, so they have a big old tax bill at the end of the year, and that can really affect your budget there in December, especially around Christmas time when you're supposed to be buying presents. You're paying taxes, which is not a good thing when you're writing those checks. Well,
that was actually another point that I was going to raise. This is also a really good time to start your direct mail marketing, because during the holiday season, folks are getting letters and cards from people every day, and they open everything. So they're going to open your envelope, and they're going to read your message, and they're going to get that message. And just like you said, if they got a tax bill they can't pay and they rather buy Christmas presents, that motivates them even more. So right now is that's why I wanted to do this call, because right now is a really, really good time for folks to really ramp up their marketing and get moving and get some great deals coming in.
Yeah, that's great, because I've heard a lot of other folks saying that they shut their marketing down in December because nothing really is happening. But I think doing a direct marketing campaign, I mean, I've done direct marketing for many years too, and it seems like some of my letters that I see when I go see the house could have been sitting there for 6 months, 9 months, or a year.
Yeah.
Do you have any kind of frequency idea on how many times I need to mail these people? Because some people I've heard, hey, I mailed 100 letters and didn't get a call. Is there like a frequency that you suggest people use?
Absolutely. Each one of the direct mail campaigns has a slightly different frequency, but at least every 60 to 90 days. And as you know, repetition is key. The more that seller gently gets your message, the more you gently touch them with that message, the more likely they are to contact you when the need arises that they need to sell that house. So the longer you implement direct mail marketing, and the longer that the longer these folks get your message, the higher number of deals you're going to do.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, it's not true that in December or whatever that nothing happens. I bought a house last year on Thanksgiving Day, and honest to goodness, the seller came to my house because he was here from out of state. He came to my house because I was cooking Thanksgiving dinner. It was the only day he had. He was mashing potatoes while I was writing the contract.
No way. That's awesome, Kathy. That's great.
Deal.
Yeah, that's amazing. How about, do you have another example maybe of somebody that you mail for like 2 years or 3 years? Or is anything like that comes to mind at all?
It happens, yes, and it happens a lot. I had a gentleman who contacted me, and he was living in a home, and his aunt owned the home, and his aunt had raised him from a little boy. And he came down he was from Michigan. He came down to Florida. We went over to the house. We met with him, and he decided to sell us the home. And then he said, you know what? I can't do it. I'm just emotionally, I'm not there. And I said, well, would it be okay if we just follow up with you periodically? And I would just send him either a note or a postcard, or you can use an autoresponder system, and basically it just said, hey Charlie, when you're ready to sell, I'm ready to buy. 2 years later, Charlie contacted me back. We ended up buying that house for the same price as 2 years ago. Oh, wow. And in the meantime, he had updated the electrical system. He put new cabinets in the kitchen and recarpeted. So he did a bunch, and that happens because these folks have an emotional attachment to property sometimes, and they're just not ready today. But if you continue to follow up with them, you're going to do that deal. And think about that. You paid the money to bring that lead into your funnel, right? Why would you just let it go to the wayside? You're going to continue to follow up with that until either the person, tells you to go away or sells you the property.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that, another thing is, think about the competition on people buying houses. Most people are not doing what you're doing, I've got to say. Would you agree?
No, they're not. It's a machine. They mail a few letters once, go, it doesn't work, and they quit.
Yeah, so after, I send letters out, do you have any kind of, like, when the sellers call back, do you have some sort of system that they call into? Do you use virtual assistants, or do you have a system that you use to keep track of all these calls?
I do have a software system that tracks everything, but 90% of the people I work with don't pick up a phone and call me at all. That's what's so unique and special about what I do.
Okay.
When I send the letter out to the seller, there is a response mechanism within the body of the letter that tells the seller exactly what I want them to do and what information I need in order to determine whether or not there's a deal there to be made. And one of the parameters that I use, and here's a free hint for your guys, is I ask the seller for photographs. So the only way the seller can contact me is by mail, email, or fax in order to give me all the information I need and those photographs. If a seller takes the time to give me all that information, I've already got a motivated seller on my hook.
Wow. That's a great point, Kathy. So, Kathy, are you...
90% of my sellers don't pick up a phone and call me. And by the time I get the response from the seller, I've already got most of the information that I need in order to determine whether or not there's a deal there to be made before I ever have the first contact with the seller.
That's awesome. So I just have a quick question for you. This is Dave here again. So so whenever you have your sellers either send you, let's review that. You said email, fax, or mail.
Correct. So, and I'll tell you right now, 50% of the mail pieces I get come by mail, snail mail.
Oh my gosh.
Come by mail. Wow, that's surprising.
Yep, 30% by email and 20% by fax.
Wow. So the question that I have though is, aren't you afraid that people that are motivated, that would typically just pick up the phone and call, would they wouldn't want to do those other ways to connect with you?
They can. We give it to them as an option.
Oh, you do give the phone number to them.
Okay, so we give them 5 different. Okay, good question, Dave. The more ways you give a seller to contact you, the more of them are going to, because you're reaching them at whatever their comfort level is, which is exactly what you just said. So you're giving them a mailing address, you're giving them an email address, you're giving them a phone number, a fax number, and that website if you have it.
Got it. Okay, so the number will be on the website then, because I guess what
Absolutely,
I'm getting at is...
so they can call me,
right.
But most of them don't, because they're more afraid of you than you are of them.
See, that's a great point, Kathy, because me personally, I'd always want to just pick up the phone and call, but that's me, and I got to put myself in the shoes of the seller. And they may want to do the fax or the snail mail, and that's something I had never really thought about.
The email too.
Right.
I've received emails from people
me too.
that say, "Hey, give me a call," and give me the address. And I've never got anybody send me pictures yet. That's a new one for me.
Right. Yeah.
That's because you're not telling your seller what you want them to do, and if you don't tell your seller what you want them to do, they won't do anything at all.
Exactly. I should say, send me pictures.
Right.
Now. When you do you have like specific different letters for each specific the 12 areas that you work in or that you're looking for?
Yes.
Okay.
There are each letter is specific. Each letter has different language. Each letter has different requests as to the information that I need. So I have 12 different direct mail campaigns specifically. Each letter is different. The language is different. The parameters are different for each one.
Wow.
Because for example, for out-of-state owners, not only am I going after out-of-state owners, but I'm using specific criteria to create the list that hones it in even further for me to pluck out the most highly motivated sellers.
Okay. Now, is this a service that you provide your students and people that are...
Absolutely. What they get from me is all 12 of the direct mail campaigns. They get all of the letters. They get all the parameters. And then we provide the list brokers for them for each one of the direct mail campaigns, no matter where they live in the country.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
So we set them up so that they can create a machine.
Oh, wow.
And honest to goodness, direct mail marketing is a machine. Once you implement it, and it was really great, when the whole pre-foreclosure thing was going on, and everybody was doing the short sales and all the pre-foreclosures, and they're beating it with our direct mail marketing, and we did even more deals because everybody else forgot about the direct mail marketing, even my own customers and students. And once all that kind of went, by the wayside, like there's not as much of it anymore, all of a sudden my old students were coming back, and how do I get started again? It was like, oh, come on. So the thing about direct mail marketing is it's very flexible with your market. It's going to work today, tomorrow, next year, the year after, 5 years from now.
That's right. That's so true.
So it's key to try to get on automatic pilot. It's probably the best way to get the best response.
Exactly.
Don't you agree?
We have folks that do all the work for us. All I deal with are the motivated sellers.
Oh wow!
Which is the fun part.
so now on these, how do you go about finding lists? Do you have a service you provide, or is it something that?
One of the ways that they can get the list is by going to their property appraiser's office or assessor's office, whatever that's called, where they live, and I give them the criteria ask for. If they can't do that, we also provide for them list brokers who will provide the list for them.
Okay.
Good to know.
They know exactly what they're looking for. So we've taken care of that obstacle completely.
So you can pretty much target a group or type of motivated seller you're looking for, correct?
Exactly.
What kind of? Let me ask you: what kind of budget should you allow for the direct marketing? If I'm just starting out, or how much funding or capital do you think I would need to get started in direct marketing?
When I first got started doing direct mail marketing, the way that we did it, because we were broke, living beyond our means, the whole night, typical, 20 year ago younger stuff. And honestly, when we got home from work on Friday night, it really came down to, are we buying stamps or are we buying a pizza this week? And back in those days, the stamps won out. We were only doing like 50 to 100 letters a week. That's it.
Oh, wow.
And we were producing deals. We were doing 3 and 4 deals a month just on that budget.
Wow,
and then
that's
as our
impressive.
business grew, part of the profit from every deal went back into the marketing as it should. And then you expand your marketing as you're going along. You should always have between 3 and 5 marketing techniques in place at all times, and one of them has to be direct mail marketing.
That's true.
That's awesome. So when a seller calls you, do you have a live person answer, or do you have an answering machine, or how do you handle the calls coming in? The ones that want to call you instead of sending you
I was
pictures.
going to say, if I'm in the office, I'll pick it up. If I'm not, it actually says in the body of my letter exactly what I want them to do if they call me, and they'll call. And I'm going to start recording those and bringing them to events that I'm speaking at, because they'll say, okay, so you wanted to know this, and then okay, and then and they'll leave me the whole thing on the message on the machine. And
That's
they do it all
awesome.
the time. And I'm going to start recording them and bringing them to events because they're great.
Oh wow, that's a great idea.
And the reason I don't use first of all, I would never use an answering service, because that's a really great way to drive away a motivated seller, because they pick it up and they hear 10 other people in the background. They know they're in a telemarketing room and they hang up.
Oh wow.
That's a complete waste of your time and money. So the few that do call me, they just come right into the office line.
Okay.
And I've already told them in the letter what I want them to do, so they already know what to do if they call.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
That's the thing that's so cool about the direct mail marketing the way I do it.
Yeah.
And nobody else does it. Nobody.
Yeah, and that's amazing. Let me ask this, kind of switch gears here. Can you use direct marketing to actually find your buyers that you're trying to sell these properties to?
I do. And what I do with that is we do use postcards for that only.
Okay.
And we mail those postcards out to areas where there are high numbers of rental properties, so apartment complexes, duplex city, which is what we call it here. High numbers of areas where there are high numbers of rental homes. And so while we are accumulating these sellers and bringing more deals in and more houses in, we're also matching those up with our buyers list that we've developed as we go along.
So you have lists readily available, or at least ways to find those particular buyers in that area.
That's really easy for anybody to get. Yeah.
Wow. Sounds like you've built a heck of a system there.
Yeah, I'm impressed. Kathy, this is great.
Yeah.
And it's all automated. We have people that do all the mailings for us. We don't have our hands on that at all anymore. And the way I've done that for my students is there's 3 different ways that they can do it. If they want to do it themselves, like they're a newbie investor and they just don't have money to farm it out,
Right.
and that's the way we did it in the early days. We did 50 to 100 letters a week. That's not a lot. That's an hour and a half to sit down and do. It's not a lot. And then we also have 2 different companies who will do the mailings for them. One does small quantity, like 25 or 50 a week. The other one will do much larger quantity for them. Or we also teach them how to hire someone themselves, like it could be a stay-at-home child, a single mom, a neighbor, somebody from a senior center, high school student, and we teach them how to 1099 that person, and all of that's covered as well.
Oh, wow.
So we give them lots of different options on how they want to automate it.
Yeah.
So maybe they're going to start doing it themselves today, and maybe in 3 months they're going to hire a person, and then a month after that or 3 months after that they have one of the companies do it. We give them lots of flexibility.
Yeah, it's a lot of flex. Yeah, I know your system sounds, very, very extensive. It sounds like you've really given a lot of thought. And what all is included in your system? And I know and also as a podcast person, I know you got some special offer. Maybe you can offer our folks too.
I actually do, because we're getting toward the end of the year, and
Right.
I really want your folks to get that marketing plan in place and together coming into 2018. That's going to be really, really important. So they get all 12 of the direct mail campaigns, the directions to automate the systems, all of the letters, and the info sheets. I also include for them, Ray, 24 additional marketing techniques and samples of all of that as well. There's an 8 audio CD set that they can listen to and get started. There's a book in there called Kathy's Magic Seller Phone Conversations, and basically that breaks out for them exactly how to pre-screen those sellers based on which direct mail campaign that they sent out. So we give them a lot of really, really good information. I'm also going to include a bunch of really special bonuses. We talked about that. They need to use that coupon code that I gave you. So they're going to get my $1 Million Resource Kit, which has all of my resources in it, including the list brokers and hard money lenders and discounted pricing on like their business cards and their signage and all of that. They're also going to get a CD that's called 7 Ways to Find Wholesale Deals. They're going to get a 6 CD bonus pack that's going to explain exactly how to use a software system to track everything, how to use that autoresponder system, how to buy properties in and out of their Roth IRA, how to use a credibility kit. So we're giving them a whole bunch of great stuff. They're also going to get a full year with me. They get my personal email address. They can email me any question that they have regarding their marketing, and they have a full year to work with me on that. I'm also, because you and I, this is our first call together.
Yeah.
In addition to all the other bonuses, there's other bonuses in there too. I need to send you a sheet with the whole offer that we're doing.
Right.
So I'll do that for you. We are also going to include for them a free bootcamp called the Millionaire Jumpstart Bootcamp. It's with Lewis Brown. So they learn what contracts to use and when, how to determine their exit strategy, negotiation skills, asset protection, how to use land trust. It's a 3-day intensive boot camp. There are multiple dates and cities to choose from. It's a $1,997 value. We have 6 of those available, Ray, so that goes to the first 6 folks who get motivated and get my system ordered like right away.
Okay.
But that's something we're doing special for your folks. If they went on my website or anywhere else, they would not find that. This is something I'm doing special for you guys.
Sweet. Kathy, you had mentioned a coupon code. What's the code?
The coupon code is MAGIC.
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 All right, that's awesome.
And that will give them the offer, and it will link them to your podcast, and so that will give them the special offer that we're making for your folks. We're going to also offer them a 30-day risk-free enrollment. So basically, when they go ahead and they invest in my system, they have a full 30 days to look at it. If it's not everything I said it was going to be, they have 30 days to get it back to us.
Hey, that's a deal right there.
Awesome.
So Kathy, where would they enter the coupon code? You gave us the coupon code. What's the website that we can send these folks to?
It's www.marketingmagiclady.com.
Okay.
So marketingmagiclady.com.
Mm-hmm.
They go to the Marketing Magic system and input the code MAGIC.
Oh, very good.
All right.
And
Well,
then
that's a
and
deal.
it links them right to your podcast. I'll know it's coming from you. There are some other bonuses in there that we're going to throw in for them, so it's a really awesome deal. They have a full 30 days to check everything out.
Wow. Well, Kathy, we really appreciate it. I know our listeners will really appreciate that too, especially having a guarantee, because I know a lot of people don't try, they say, well, will this work for me or not? Well, you got 30 days to try it out, see what happens there.
Exactly.
And I'm just, like I said, we're really appreciative on you being able to spend some time with us. I know this is very good timing, like you said, with the holidays coming up. And I think in every investor in this business, you've got to have marketing for sure. And obviously direct marketing, it can be expensive, but it's, in my opinion, and I think Kathy would agree with this, it is the best one that you can set up and at points, at times, it can it's almost automatic, isn't it, Kathy, if you put it up right?
Oh, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. That we teach them how to automate the system and get it into someone else's hands as quickly as they can. Because once you do, folks, it's a machine. It will just continue to churn out deal after deal after deal after deal, no matter what your market is doing.
Yeah,
which is just killer.
Yeah, once you set it up, just keep on.
It just keeps on churning. Yeah.
Well, Kathy, I really appreciate your time. I want to, she's as you can see why she's called herself the Marketing Magic Lady. I obviously can see why.
That's right.
But I really appreciate your time and effort. And I'll let David take us out here. But again, thanks for your time.
Yeah, Kathy, thank you so much for all the information. I know I learned a ton. I'm an experienced wholesaler. Ray's been doing it for a really long time, and I'm sure he's learned a couple of things here too.
That's the thing about the business.
I know. We're gonna take a couple of the things that you had mentioned and implement that into our current business. And I think that we're going to probably sign up for...
yeah, we got the code now, right?
That's right. We're going to probably sign up ourselves here and check out what you got.
When they use that code, it gives them a 15% discount. I don't know if you said that or
not. Okay, cool. Yeah,
so
we're going to probably...
they get a 15% discount, which is something I also don't normally offer.
Hey, that's awesome. So, yeah, we're going to check it out on our end, too.
And they get the 30 days.
Yeah. Now, do you have any upcoming events you want to kind of pitch out there at all?
No, I'm just... Yeah, I'm out there. Have them continue to check my website, see where I am, and come and join us.
All right, great.
All right.
Thanks again.
And, Kathy, thank you so much. We appreciate all your information.
Thanks for having me on the call.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Hopefully some of the students and listeners and viewers will check out what you got, and you can provide value to them just like you provided value to us today.
Right.
So thanks again.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All
right, thanks, Kathy. Have a great day.
All righty, bye-bye.
Bye.
So we'll cut this part here. All right, guys, thanks for listening to the Discount Property Investor Podcast. We had an awesome guest on today. Her name was Kathy. How do you say your last name?
Kennebrook.
Kennebrook. Okay, Good deal. Kathy Kennebrook. She is the Marketing Magic Lady. She has a ton of good information on her course, which you can find at marketingmagiclady.com. Use coupon code MAGIC. Save 15%. She's got tons of additional bonuses in there, and she had also mentioned that the first 6 people, I think, we're going to get access to a live event that one of her friends throws on here. What's his name?
Lou Brown. He's famous, actually. He's really good. I've gone to his seminars before.
Oh, cool. All righty.
He's really good. Nationals. He's one of the original guys, actually.
That's awesome. That's great.
All right.
Well, guys, thanks for listening today, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Discount Property Investor Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe to help us reach a wider audience. We would also appreciate it if you left us a review on iTunes or Stitcher. Thanks in advance for your support. And remember, you make your money when you buy and get paid when you sell. Now let's go build some wealth.